What's going on, everybody? Today is day 1 at Mount Rainier, and the first hike we decided to do is the Green Lake Trail on, what are we, the north side?
Northwest.
The northwest side of Mount Rainier. Michael's pumped about this one. And so this trail was, it took probably 2 to 3 miles to get onto the trail. There was like a road that was blocked off, and then maybe 3 miles of the actual trail. And we ended up at this really nice lake. As you guys might be able to hear, it's a little bit rainy today. Overall, it was a fine hike. There was definitely stuff that looked like poison ivy on the side, but it never got too narrow, so it was never too bad. The little bit of rain, not my favorite thing. This is definitely the dampest hike we've been on, the most humid. So I'm sweating like crazy. Michael's not too bad. He's somehow still wearing a sweatshirt. But we'll show you some beautiful pans of this lake, and then we're going to head right on back. What's going on, everybody? It's Chris
And Michael.
and today is day 2 at Mount Rainier. So if you saw our last video, we had a little bit of problem between that video and this video, and that is that our car battery wouldn't start and we were totally dead. So we needed to go to a Honda dealership, get a new battery. We got that fixed, so we missed one day, but we're back on the trails now, and today we are doing the 3 borough trails. And right off the bat, we have this beautiful view of Mount Rainier. It's just really, really nice. So we got here at about 2 p.m. It's an estimated 5.5 hour hike. And so that's our goal, to finish it up before dinner. And then we're driving over to our next trail where Michael says there's a lake that we can jump in after our hike today. So we'll see how this one is. And as always, we'll bring you in as we see more cool stuff. What's going on, everybody? So at this point, we've hiked through 2 of the 3 boroughs, and we came to this crossing, so we think we're going the right way, but it is just amazing, this part. You could see kind of behind me, if I turn you this way, you can see the mountain. But this part of the hike is kind of like exactly the type of hike that I love, which is like a little bit wastelandy, is the way I would describe it, where there's not a ton of trees or grass around. You definitely don't have to worry about poison ivy here, but just beautiful, beautiful views of the mountain. Put that in there. And just a nice open hike. What's going on, everybody? Today is day 3 at Mount Rainier. And today we went to the lower side of the mountain. So yesterday we were kind of at the higher peaks. Today we were at the lower side, and we did, is it the 3? Oh, you got a bug on your, where the bug on your forehead?
Lick it. Ow.
Sorry, it was right on your forehead. The 3 lakes.
Hurt. 3 Lakes Trail.
The 3 Lakes Trail.
The Tres Leches.
Tres
Trail.
Leches Trail, which means 3 Milk Trail. But it's not the 3 Milk Trail, it's the 3 Lakes Trail. And right here behind us, you can see the 3rd lake, which is really, really pretty. We passed the other 2. Between the 3, Michael said, this is the best lake. I'm not judging the lakes. I'm letting them be as they are. But what did you think of this hike overall?
I said it was about a 6 out of 10. It's 12 miles, about 2,500 feet elevation gain. So definitely solid hike. I think after yesterday, we're a little spoiled.
Yeah.
But this one went through completely the whole time through the woods. Mm-hmm. So if you really like that type of environment, then it's a great, great hike for you. But we're not, we're more of mountain folk.
Yeah. So
the trees get a little stale for us, but.
Yeah, I totally agree with Michael. My type of hike that I like is definitely a lot more like open, not so many trees. And this one, we didn't see a ton of poison ivy. I saw a little bit, but not a ton. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like most of the hike, I would say 90+% of the hike, you look around and there's trees and there's trees and there's trees. And if you look up, there's a sky. And it's just, I find it a lot more fun to do a hike where you look around and you see the mountains, or you look around and you see the lakes, or whatever you see. So it was a solid hike in terms of difficulty, but in terms of where I would rank it, I'm kind of with Michael. I liked it better than the first hike we did at Mount Rainier, but definitely not as good as the one yesterday. Like Michael said, I think we're spoiled from the one we did yesterday. We're going to head back Like Michael said, it's about 6 miles here. We're going to head 6 miles back, and then we'll move on to the last hike at Mount Rainier, which is
like the Sky Trail or something.
Which is like the Sky Trail or something. What's going on, everybody? Today is day 4 at Mount Rainier, and today we're doing the Skyline Trail on the south side. Yeah, on the south side of the mountain. So this is our last trail before we leave Mount Rainier. You can actually see it poking out in the background a little bit there, but we got some beautiful panoramas of it, which we'll show. We saw these cute little gopher things. Hopefully the wind's not too bad right now. There was an avalanche that we saw. That was really cool. But Michael, what have you thought of this trail, the Skyline Trail, so far?
It's very, very pretty. I was told this one and the 3 burrows are the most beautiful, and so far that has been exactly correct.
Yeah.
Not sure which one's better. We'll have to evaluate that later, but absolutely stunning.
Yeah, so this one is a totally different trail than most of the other trails that we've done. Most of the other trails have been like paths, and this one has had steps, and it's been paved for a good portion of it. So it's different. It's shorter than the other ones. Do you remember how long the 3 burrows was?
9 miles.
All right, so Michael says the 3 burrows were 9 miles, and this one is 6 miles all around, so it's shorter. And it's definitely steep. All right, so Michael and I made it over the hump, and now we are on the downstroke, headed down the mountain. And I thought it was a great hike. Like I was saying before, this hike is definitely different from the other hikes, in that the other hikes that we've done have been a lot more like trails, and this hike had a lot of steps and some paved areas, but it had some really, really steep areas. That's super cool. Just a nice chunk of glacier right there, and a boulder. I like that boulder. But Michael, what did you think of this one now that we're over the top of it and we're coming back down?
Hard to say which one I like more between this and the burrows, but definitely, I mean, this is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Everything. We saw some animals. We saw, like you said, a avalanche, a little avalanche, a rock slide. It's really had it all. Just nice, beautiful, open. Everything we like about a hike.
Yeah. And this one, you know, I've said it on other hikes, but this one had that thing where the entire time you're hiking, you can see another glacier right there, another big chunk of glacier. But the entire time you're hiking, you look up. We got a beautiful sunny blue sky today. You look up and you see Mount Rainier. And it's just awesome to, the entire time you're hiking, whether it's a steep incline or a slight decline like it is now, you can turn and you can basically see Mount Rainier. You can't see it in the background right now because there's a little bit of shelving, but I'm sure as we get farther down the trail, you'll be able to see it. And you saw the beautiful panoramas that we had as we were going up the hike. Overall, great hike. We'll probably come back in when we have the mountain in the background, but steep hike, great hike. So Michael and I are about, I'm gonna guess, halfway down the trail, but you can see Mount Rainier behind us. I got my jacket back on because now we're walking downhill, and it's I'm not sweating as much, so I was getting cold, threw my jacket on, but now I'm pretty comfortable. And this area is just a little bit grassy with short grass, so again, no worries about poison ivy or anything like that, but really, really pretty. I've actually enjoyed going downhill more than going uphill on this hike, which is surprising for me because I don't usually like the downhill more. What you see in the background now is what we saw the entire time we were hiking up. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, the hike is hard. It's probably 3 miles, maybe a little bit less, maybe like 2.5 miles of like decent uphill. And we don't usually have to stop while we're going on certain trails, but this one we had to stop a couple times because it really was that steep. but it's just such a pretty view. It motivates you, you know, in comparison to like yesterday's hike. You know, it was a nice hike. It was nice and all, but it didn't have the view that this one had. And I just love these hikes with these unbelievable views. I think the views on this hike definitely compete with the Three Boroughs.
Yep, so now we just slowly walking our way down, enjoying the surroundings.
Yeah. And you can even see on the side of us, which will have some panoramas, on the side of us, there's all these other mountains. Michael says Mount Helena?
Mount St. Helen.
Mount St. Helen is there. It's a little bit smoky because there are some fires going on, but you could still totally see them. Really, really pretty. We'll show that. So I really enjoyed this trail. Great trail for the fourth day and for the last trail at Mount Rainier. Michael did a A+ job planning this one out. So we'll bring you back for the review. Anything else before we sign off, Michael? So Michael and I are finishing up the Skyline Trail. We're probably in our last quarter mile, but it was just so pretty with that mountain in the background. I'm going to try to stop bouncing. We just wanted to share it with you. We got to see this really, really pretty view of a waterfall with the mountain, and we got some really, really nice pictures and video of that we'll share. But this hike has just been really, really nice, and we just really wanted to show that mountain in the background. Now it looks like it's getting covered up by trees. So we'll sign off. All right, so we are sitting here in the Redwoods Forest right by the Eternal Tree, and we thought this would be a really great opportunity to wrap up our Mount Rainier video and go through the Bible chapter that we just read. So today we did Mark 14, which was a really long chapter, but it goes over the betrayal of Jesus and then him being brought to the council and them not being able to find any fault with the things that he did, but just condemning him because really they hate him. The thing that I really love in this chapter is when Jesus is praying and he says, if it were possible, let this hour pass by me, but not my will, but yours. And so let this cup pass by me. So what Jesus is saying is, like, it's really not my desire to go through this crucifixion and do all this stuff, but I'm going to submit my will to the Father's will. And that's something that I struggle with all the time. I'm obviously not going to the cross, so it's not as big of a sacrifice, but to say, okay, God, the situation that you have me in isn't where I want to be. I want to be doing these other things, but I'm going to submit my will to your will. And so for me, that was just a good reminder. What were your thoughts on Mount Rainier?
It was amazing. I think I started to do some prep for it before we went into the mountain, and it pretty much laid out as like 4 to 5 different zones around the mountain, and it was advertised as each zone kind of having its own little like ecosystem and atmosphere. And so I figured, okay, well, one of the zones could really only be reached by bike. So I axed that one out, and we did the 4 zones. So I picked 4 hikes, one in each zone. We had a little bit of trouble after our first hike when our car broke down. So we had a break after the first hike, but it really was true. We did 4 different hikes, and it was 4 different atmospheres and ecosystem, and everything around us was different. So no matter, we both have a same style of hike that we enjoy, being more mountains and open, less foresty. But we had a couple of hikes like that. We had a couple of hikes that were more foresty. So it really is something for everyone.
Very diverse.
Yeah. And the hikes were fantastic.
Yeah.
The Three Boroughs Trail and the Skyline Trail at the end were both very, like I said, very open, huge mountain, great views, fantastic hikes. And so I absolutely loved Mount Rainier.
Yeah, I would agree with Michael. I think out of all the national parks, if I could only suggest people go to one, I would probably say Mount Rainier as well. Like Michael said, it really had this huge diversity between, if you like doing like in the forest hikes, there's in the forest hikes. And if you like doing outdoor, kind of like totally open hikes like we like doing, there's some of those too. And I think we just scratched the surface of what's at Mount Rainier. I think we could have stayed there for another week and still been doing new trails every day. So I'm on board with you. I really love the Badlands, but I think there's more to offer in Mount Rainier. So if you're going just for a short amount of time, I might say the Badlands, but I really, really like Mount Rainier too. And so yeah, I would give Mount Rainier a 5 out of 5, 2 thumbs up, whatever rating system you want to use. So we both really enjoyed it. If you enjoy this content, please like this video. And if you have any questions on Mount Rainier or any other national park that we've gone to, leave the question in the comments section. And as always, have a blessed day.